Hi all, welcome to my channel, welcome to my world. This is the world of Wayne. Today I'm going to be doing pack 6 of the Agora Models and Hachette Partworks release of Build Giga's Alien. So back to the Alien, and I'm prepared today. Look, I bought myself a brand new Stormshore. This turns into like a rubber, and unfortunately my last one I don't know if I left the lid on too much, but the whole thing just turns a rubber inside. So I've got a brand new one. Haven't even opened that yet. All the rest of the pieces are down here. And today we are going to be creating more of the rib section and doing more of the bodywork, the arms and the legs and stuff. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, there's a couple of places you can get it. If you're in the UK, you can get it through Hachette Partworks. Again, I'll put the link in the video description. Or check out the Agora Models website in your territory to see if you can get it for Agora Models as well. The one I'm doing here is from Agora Models. So that's the one that I'm building at the moment. We're going to be getting on with pack 6. So without further ado, let's get cracking. Okay, so we're going to start with stage 37, and we are working on more rib sections here. This is what we did in the last pack, and as you see, we have got some vacant areas to add some ribs to. So stage 37 comes in these paper bags. Let's get this open. And it looks like we've got some magnets in here, some more piping, and the next rib. And it's the next rib that we're going to start off with first. So this, basically, like we've done last time, this is all metal, is going to go on here. And it's held in with one of the silver screws, which come in this pack. I've already opened them. Now this is metal, so, as I said, put a little bit of oil, and we'll get that silver screw in. So turning this over, this is going to be linking to this side here. So it's going to go on under here like that. And again, another silver screw to hold that into place. All the way in. Perfect. So we are still going to be extending onto this. But for now, I'll put that to one side. Now, if you remember last pack, we were working on this right thigh. I'd already put magnets into this side. I hadn't put magnets into this side yet. But this is the skin for the right thigh here. We're going to be adding the piping into this section just here. Now, you may be wondering, why don't I use Stormshore on this section? I use glue. And the reason is because these are flexible and this is flexible. So they've both got flexibility in them. I put them on the other side of the metal because metal is not flexible. And that's why I use Stormshore for this, normal glue for this. But to start with, I'm going to want D1. These do have tabs in each side. And this is going to go in here. Just do a dry fit for you. And then the next one, once I've cut the tab off here, is just going to go next to it here. So let's get some glue in, and I'll put that into place. And there you go. When they're in place, it should look like that. Now I'm going to turn that upside down, because I am going to be putting magnets into this side. Now the polarity of the magnets doesn't matter at this stage. It will when we're onto the actual plastic part that goes underneath. But I am going to put some Stormshore now into these 4 positions here, and put the magnets into place. So when you open this for the first time, got to get the lid and jab that in there, and that's going to create a hole. I use a cotton bud, which I've got here to put this on with. Just makes things a little bit tidier, and I push it from the bottom, and I'll just put a little bit on each one. I will tidy up that little spillage there. The secret here is to try and be as tidy as you possibly can. There you go, I've got the excess off that. Quickly put the lid back on. I don't want that setting inside the tube again. I'll just tidy up that little spillage there. That is perfect. Now, that's going to take a good 24 hours to dry, so I'm going to leave that to one side. And I do think the secret to this build is to make sure that each stage is perfectly dry before you do anything else with it. But that is the end of that stage. So in stage 38, I'm going to start working on the left rib again. And we have got some parts of the tail by the look of it here. And we do have more magnets. So bringing over the ribs again, this one's just going to be going onto this side here. turn it over, and I've still got a screw left over from last time, so I'm going to use the same screw. Just saves opening the bag up, which means I do have 2 more ribs on this bit to put in. And there you go, that's in nice and tight. I am going to need to open this other bag though, because I need some screws for the next stage, which is basically to put these 2 parts together on what looks like the tail section. So this is just going to go over here like this. There is locating lugs, which put this in, and again a silver screw to hold this into place, just down the centre there. Excellent. So once I've got that, I can put that to one side, and then we want to bring over the right thigh section, and we want to put the magnets into these positions here, 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 here. And what we do is we get what we worked on before, which looks like this. Get this in here. Then we're going to wrap the skin around, which is going to dictate the polarity of the magnets, and then I'm going to put the magnets into place here. The reason I'm not doing it now is because, as you know, I've only just put these magnets in here. I want them to set first, so I will put the magnets into this section in afterwards. There is one thing I can do though, and that is to put 1/2 of this pipe into this skin here. Now, I'm just checking which side is that 1/2. I believe it's this side here. I'm going to cut off the tab at the end, which says D3. And I'm just going to put glue into this section here and this section just here. So I'm only gluing 1/2 of this pipe. Put that into place like that, and I'll just hold that into place there. And that is all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 39, a bit more piping and a bit more ribs, as you can see there. We also have more magnets, which we know are going to go into the other side of that thigh. So quite simply, this time we're going to be putting 1 rib in here. Make sure we've got the right one. It's fitting perfectly there. So again, silver screw dipped in oil to get that in. This is going to finish this bit of rib off here. So 1 there, and then I've got the second one, which is just going to go on this side like that, and another silver screw to hold that into place. So as you can see, it's another completed rib. Excellent. Just taking my watch off because I realised that the battery's run out on it, so it's not continuity. I've just taken it off. Okay, so we've got 2 pipes here, D4 and D5. They're going to be going on this tail section just here. So, just going to make sure there's no gap between them. And I'm going to do a dry fit to where these actually go. So this one's going to go in here. And then this one is going to go, if I can get that pushed in. I think that's the way. Yeah, that is the way. This is the way. It's going to go in here like that. So I'm going to get this in and show you what that looks like. Now I'm just holding that in the middle there. But that sets, and that's that section done there. Put that to one side, and then just so you know, the other magnets that we got will be going into the other side of this. So what I would be doing eventually is taking this section here, wrapping it over, and then putting the magnets 4 in this side, 4 in this side, so the polarity is linking this skin section to this side of the thigh. But that is all there is to do in that stage. It's a very hard build to actually video, knowing that I have got to let these things cure. Otherwise this video can go on for days. But I am going to move on. I'm hoping that you realise where the magnets are going and why I'm not putting them in at the moment. So in stage 40, we're going to start with the pelvis. So let's get this open. Lots of parts for the pelvis here. So in stage 40, as you can see, we're going to start creating the pelvis. And we do have this little liner, which is going to go into the section here, which is going to provide friction for the leg when it's in here. Now, this goes in with 2 lugs through the holes here. Lining them up is going to be a little bit difficult because it can be manipulated. So I'm just making sure that they're going through and out the bottom there, like that. You want to make sure they're sitting perfectly flat in there. And we're going to do the same just with the other side here. So again, line this up and make sure that they pop through the bottom here. Now we do have this ball joint which is going to go between them. So when we put it in, I want this way round, and I'm using this side of the ball joint, the socket should I say, and that's going to fit in there like that. And I'm closing it off by putting the other side in here, just over the lugs. There you go, and you can see it's really, you want that really stiff, trust me. If that's not really stiff, you're going to have wobbly legs. So don't worry about this being tight at this stage and very hard to move. I am holding this together with some of the screws that come in this. These are these black screws here. And I want to put one just down this section here. And again, make sure this is tight, but it is going into plastic, so don't make it too tight. And I want one just here. Then in the rest of the holes, we've got these massive screws and nuts here. So let's get these open. I want it this side again. So one's going to go down here. And it's going to be coming out the bottom, as you can see there. Put a nut in. So it sits flat. And then I'm going to screw this in. So, holding it with my finger. And make that tight. So that's one in, like that. Now I'm going to be doing the same on these two holes just here and here. And as you can see, all of those are in place now. Okay, we're now going to be putting this pelvic area into this section here. Now, you may be tempted to put this section in here. That doesn't go like that. It actually goes in this way with the square side of this shaft sitting into that section just like that. Then we're going to be taking the bracket, which is going to go over the top, and it's going to hold all of that into place, making sure that the square section of the bracket does fit over the square section of the shaft here, like that. You heard that clip into place. Get the screws. These are black screws, and just screw that into place. So that's one, and that one's two. And there we go. That's all there is to do in that stage. So in stage 41, we're still working on the right leg. So let's get all of this out. And we've got lots of parts here, like the knee joint, some washers, some couple of metal parts here. Okay. I'm going to put them to one side because we don't actually need them at the moment. But I am now going to need to put the magnets into this side here. So what I'm going to do is just hold them up against here. Put some glue where the magnets are going to go. And then let the polarity of this drop that into place like that. So I'm going to do that for all four of the magnets this side and all four of the magnets this side. They are drying still, so I'm going to try and get through this stage without dislodging anything, which is going to be hard. But I do need this part here. I also need this part that we created in the last pack. And what we have to do is take the skin off. Now this is only held on, as you can see, just by magnets. So take that one off there and take this side off like that, which leaves this in the bottom. Now we did have a metal run which is going in here. We need to take that off as well. Now I also need to bring over this piece that we worked on previously and detach the skin from this, because I'm not going to need that. So I've just got the plastic inners here, if you like. And I'm now going to start joining all of this together. So the way this is going to work, this is going to be fun. Hopefully you can see this on one of the cameras. Okay, it's going to be going over the top like this. But in this section here, we do have the bottom of the leg, which looks like this. So the way we're going to be joining the bottom of the leg is taking the section which has got the pelvic joint in it here and putting a massive rubber washer over this section. Then I'm putting this side of the leg in, and I do want it, I'm just checking which way round it goes. I do want it this way up, so this is going to go in there like that. And then I want another rubber washer on here, and then I'm going to close that off with the other side of the leg here. So I'll put that in there, and then piece those all together like that. Excellent. Now we do have this massive bolt and nut to go through this whole section. And the bolt goes through the side that hasn't got the pelvic attachment on it. That's going to go through there like this. Put the nut on the other side. And you want to make this nice and tight. And I mean tight, because you do want that to be hard to move, okay? This, as you can see, can move, but you do want it to be hard to move. Okay, we haven't attached any of this section yet, but what I've got to do is at the bottom here, I'm going to be putting the knee joint over. Now the knee joint is cut in half just like that. It's going to go over this section just here. Now it's going to fit over kind of like that. As you can see, this way round. Hopefully that's easy to see. And we do have holes to actually put screws in to keep that into place. Now, these are flange screws. They look like this. Let's get these open. Line up the screw holes. As you can see, hopefully on one of these cameras. So they come through here and then get one of these flange screws in. Not too tight, just enough to hold it. Otherwise, again, you might split this rubbery material here. Do the same on this side. Line up. And a flange screw in there. Perfect. And then turn it over and do the same on the other side. Even the best of us can't stop a magnet coming out. As you see, I'm going to have to take that magnet out and put it back into the skin. And there you go. That's the skin of the knee in place. Now we're going to be taking the outer skin assemblies from these two sides and putting these together. So this one will be going on this side here. Get that locked into place. Like that. And then the other one is going in from this side. Just like that. You see, it does hold in. And now, even though we're using magnets, which I just can't understand this, we are going to be gluing this side into this side here, because we do have these little joins inside. You see these little tabs to keep all of that together. So I'm going to put a layer of glue on this edge and get this side in first. So as you can see, that side's in perfectly, just like that. Now on the bottom here, we're going to be putting this section here we created earlier. And this is obviously going in here, but it's sort of like pinching everything together here. Like this. Because this is going to go over the top here. Getting that lined up to piece everything together. I want to put these ridges together. So these sort of go like that. I'm really pushing them here to get them over where they need to go. But they do need to be tight in like that. So I'm probably going to put a clamp on, but let's get some glue in these to hold those ridges together. So I'm just holding this in place to ensure that this side doesn't come out. Lots of glue needed on this build, definitely. Now at the same time, I'm working on the knee section and just gluing the tabs at the back of the knee section now as well. So the whole kneecap has now been glued behind the knee as well. So I'm having to hold this in. Okay, I've got me some string now because I've been putting some glue just behind the knee here. And I want to pull all of these parts together. So I'm using the string to do that. Now I could use elastic bands as well. But with string, I could just cut this afterwards. Or just undo the knot, which I'm going to do. But get a couple of bits of these. This is a quick way to do it. Because I don't have any elastic bands at the moment. This will also ensure that all the channels line up in the ribbing here. But yeah, make it nice and tight and it will pull all of that together. Yeah, now this might be a little bit overkill, but I don't want those seams coming apart while this is drying. So I have put a fair amount of string behind there to keep a nice seam in there. I don't know if you can see that, for that whole knee section. Okay, let's take this clamp off. And one of them's held, the other two haven't. So you know what, that string idea was so good. I'm going to put some more glue on these ends. And I'm going to put string down the bottom as well. Because again, I haven't got enough elastic bands. Okay, let's do that. So look at this whole Newton's cradle I've got going on here. So strings here, clamps at the end now. Which leaves this area open, which is good. Because guess what? I've got to put glue just on the inside edge of these sections here. So let's get some of them on. Lots of glue. I think the problem with elastic bands is that you can't really target exactly where you want it to grip. It's just going to grip all the way around. But well, do whatever makes you comfortable to get this bit done. This isn't so much hard as it is just, you know, you put up one side and another side pops out and all of that, and you end up clamping that side down. But it does make me wonder, why did we use magnets? I still can't see, with me putting this section in, because this skin isn't going to be able to move now, and we are locking it into place, why we use magnets to keep them in place. That just doesn't make sense to me. This is just now going to be pushing into this section here, but we are pinching these sides down. So what I want to do is stretch these round like this and put this into place. So just lining it up where it goes, making sure that the skin is underneath this, so when I push it in like that, it's going to be held. So that's looking good on two sides. Still got to do this side here, and I think we are good to go there. I might need some string here as well, you know. Let's hold it for a little while, see what happens. I know, it might be overkill. I want to make sure it's sitting perfectly. The other advantage of using string is obviously I haven't got to get an elastic band over this whole section here to get them round here. With string, I can just cut it off and I don't have to touch anything else just to get this section in, as you can see here. So I'm just putting this underneath and just tying it on this side. Very good. So you can kind of see a leg in place under there like that. This is what it's looking like from the other side, so the other side's looking good. Just this back section here, but we are good there. But we do need to actually keep this section into place, and now is the time that we get to screw this in. So pretty much every hole that we can see here, here, here and here is going to be held in with these black screws. So I will get all of these screws in place and we'll have a look how this looks. And there you go, there is the leg done. It looks like I've done a bit of first aid on it, doesn't it? But, I mean, the technique works, so I can't knock the technique. And you see the seam is pretty good down there, along the edges here, along the edges here, and on the front there. I mean, it works. So if it works, I'm not going to knock it. But I will cut these all off when it's dried, but that's the leg completed. That's the end of that stage. Now in stage 42, we're going to be doing the right foot and rib cage. So let's just get these out so I can just show you some of this. Right foot, look, it's absolutely massive. Check that out. That's just like the inside bits of it. Put that to one side. I do have some screws in here, but you've pretty much guessed what we're going to be doing next. Okay, so bringing this leg over, we're going to be putting the skin over this top section here. I'm just going to line it up and just check that I can get to the string, which I can, then I can pull that through, so that's not going to be an issue there. And then on the other side of this, I'm going to be putting this side of the skin on, like this. And again, I'm just going to double check that I can get to the string. I can get to it through this side, that's good. So on this side here, I want to attach these parts together. So I have already put glue into place here, but I'm just going to hold this in to keep this one side in place. So as you can see, that seam is now stuck in place there. So that's good. Still can't figure out why we needed magnets. We can now keep this part of the leg in place with these metal clamps, which are going to go onto each section here, and this will pin these sections down. I don't think I'm going to need to glue these because it's quite a good fit here. So I'm just going to line these up and get these into place. That does take quite a bit of whacking to get that in there. Just thought I'd let you know that. put the bottom one in first because this has got an overlap which goes over the top here. Then you'll be able to get the top one in as well. I'm using my hammer to help just get this into place. That does take some beating into place there, but as you can see, that's now in place. I'm going to be turning this around, and on this side, we're going to be putting in... oh dear, this is going to be fun. This part of the leg here. Now, they want this part here joined. I'm going to keep this open so I can get to the string afterwards. So I am just going to work on this side here. Now, obviously, it's this section which is going to go in here to keep those into place. So what I'll do is line up this section here and just do a quick test fit of how this is going to go. Perfect. And I will now put some glue just down this edge here and this edge here, ready to put this into place. And I am actually just going to hold that into place. I mean, it's looking really good, isn't it? I can still get to the string. I won't attach this bit yet until I'm actually happy that the leg's completely dry. And then I will just join those two bits together as well. But I will show you what the whole leg looks like in a minute. For now, I'm just going to sit here for another 10 minutes just holding this into place. So I do have this sheath now, which is going to be going onto the end here. Now, the sections are actually matching up on this, just so you know. Are these two pipes just here, because look, they are the same kind of distance from each other, but this is going to be going onto this section here. Now the pipes, I believe, are going underneath, so I'm just going to put this sheath on here. It does say push this up the leg further than it would be for its final position, which I am going to do. It does mean going over the pipes here to get this in. So that's not where that's going to stay, just so you know. But this will get pushed down a bit. I have put this pipe slightly up there. Now I need this side of the foot. And I also have one of these little rubber grommets which are going to go in there, which is going to provide friction to the foot. And then making sure this is round the right way, we're going to want this in here like this. And this is why they're saying about pushing this up further than you're actually going to need it. That way you can actually get the foot in there like that. Now once again on the other side, I do have this grommet here which is going to go in here. Make sure it comes out the other side. And then this is going to be going on top of this section just here, holding all of that together. I'm just going to push this up the leg a little bit further. As you can see, I need as much room as possible to get this in here. So one in that side, this one in that side, that's going to hold that together. Now we're holding this together with 3 of these silver screws with nuts. So I'm turning the leg just over because, as you can see, the nut is going in this side, just like that. Keep that in place. I'll turn it back and hold that with my finger. And I'll get the first one in place here. And just screw this down. And then just do the same for the other 3 here. Now you see where I've got this pipe? This pipe is now too long to go in this section, so I probably will eventually cut that off even after I push this down. I want to see what length there is once I push that down. But that's the foot on. I'd rather have too much than not enough there. But that is the foot in place. We can put this whole leg to one side now. And as you can see by these, we're now going to be joining both of those ribs we had together. So this pack, we have done an absolute amazing amount here. I can't believe how much we've actually done. So I'm just going to get this lined up of how we need this. So I believe this is going to go on this side. And these are going into the holes just here like that. 4 holes in the middle. So just lining them all up. So that's how that should look when it's in there. Going to do the same on the other side. Matching off exactly like we've just done there. So these are going to go in here like this. Make sure these back ones are underneath this section here. So 1, 2. It's just a case of lining them up and getting them all in. Now this is only a temporary fixing, but we're now going to be putting this cover just over the top to keep these into place. So this is going to go into the 3 lugs here, pushed into these 3 holes, and push that nice and tight. Very temporary, just to keep these into place. But as you can see, we do have a rib cage now looking like that. Very heavy, because remember, this whole thing is metal. So, but that's how that's looking just at the moment. And that's stage 42 complete. Wow, what a stage. Stage 43, we are now working on the skin of the right foot, as you can see here. Lots of details. And the first thing I'm going to do is take F1, which I'm guessing stands for foot 1. And I'm going to be getting the first piping in here like this. So once again, cut off the little marker there, get some glue, and glue that one into place. F2, the really small one here, is just going to be going above it here. F3 is going here, and F4 is going here. So our alien's got some serious veins on his foot there, hasn't he? So we're going to be bringing over the leg, and the foot is going to go on top of this section, lining up the toes. It actually goes on top of this section here, like that, as you can see there. So I probably will eventually cut that pipe down there. But I'm going to turn it over like this. And on the other side, I've got the other side of the foot, which is going to go on here. Now we do have tabs in here, which I am going to be putting glue, because all of this is going to be glued together. So we're going to have glue at the back, and then we're going to be having glue down this section just at the front here as well. So this edge here is going to be going underneath this edge just here. So probably going to need string on the go. Let me get this all glued in. Now you can see why this video is taking so long today. I've still got some insulating tape at the bottom, because you do have to glue the seam at the bottom as well to keep that together. I've taken all the other tape off though, but that is a completed leg. Look at it. It took a lot of joining, as you do see. I do have a couple of bits which I just need to pull in a little bit. There, I did fix that thing and take the string out. I've just got a couple of little bits just here to do. Other than that though, it's in place. It does use a lot of glue, and for the life of me, I've got no idea why we have to put things in with magnets when it's all fixed in place now, just like this. But there you go. We've got one more stage to do. And that's basically everything in here, which is the right hand. And we are working on a little bit of the skull again. So this is what that hand looks like. Pretty interesting. Okay, we've got a couple of bits just to put over the finger sections here. So what I'm going to do is line up which ones go where. That is going to be needed to be glued into place, I think. Actually, no, that's pretty solid in there, so not have to worry about that. Here's the second one. This one's going at the end here, I'm guessing. That's the second one in. I have to see they are going to need a little bit of glue. I am going to, just for my own peace of mind, just put some glue in the tabs here. They are numbered as well. This is number 2. This goes here. That's 2 in. And as you can see, I do need to glue this one that I put in right at the start. And that's number 3 in. So we've got all 3 fingers in place there. Now in this bag, I do have a connector, and I want to put one side of the connector just on this side of the hand, because as you can see, this claw, I keep calling it a hand, it's like a claw, has only got one side of the claw in place. So it is eventually going to be attaching to another side, I believe. So I will attach that just here with one of the black screws. Now we can put this to one side. We do have this part here, which we're not actually using in this stage, so I can put this to one side, which just leaves these magnets, which we're not using. They can go to one side. The last thing left is just this little LED strip. What are we doing with this? Well, let me show you. Now the instructions are telling us to test the light. I'm not going to do that because I can't get my hands on the battery straight away at the moment. But what we are going to do is this is going to be going underneath this jaw section here. So what I need to do is actually take this jaw section out. Now this is held in with 4 pieces here of screws here. So I'm going to get my screwdriver in here and get these out. And I'm going to be putting this in with this edge lining up, probably best on the top camera, into this section just here. So it's going to go like that. And this wire does kind of go in underneath this section just a touch. Like that. There we go. Some lights in there. So I'm guessing when the mouth opens, it's actually going to light up inside the mouth. We don't actually connect this to anything though. So once that's done, we can just put this back over the top. Like this. And re-put all these screws back in place. And once they're done, that's all there is to do in that stage. So that was a truly epic build, pack 6. Now the time at the moment is 20 to 2 in the afternoon. I started this at 7:30 this morning. So as you see, we've got the head where we've now put a light in there. We've got a little bit of the hand, or half of the claw. And then we've done the rib cage, looking like this. Although this is only temporarily joined together, remember. And then behind me, I've got a ginormous leg looking like this. Now this has to be the thumbnail. Let me just see if this is sealed. I think it has. I'm just going to take off this insulating tape now, which was holding that together there. And I do think that this has to be the thumbnail, doesn't it? It's got to be. It's got to be the thumbnail. So, but that's taken me pretty much all day. So all I've got to do is I will just fix this section here. But that's all there is to do in that stage. That's all there is to do in that pack. Now, if you want to get this for yourself, once again, I have put a link in the video description. You can get this all the way from pack 1. But I really hope you like that video. If you did, please remember to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed already, please remember to subscribe. Gonna have some dinner. Take care.